Hey, everybody. On this episode of Room for Seconds, you're going to learn about taking over a family business from someone who's doing it right now. And from experience, working with family is one of the hardest things in the world. So join us while Reilly Berk from Berk Enterprises tells you exactly the struggles, the ups, the downs, the mistakes you make if you take over your family company. Reilly, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Obviously, you and I have gotten to know each other a little bit over the last year. And, why don't you just fill everyone in a little bit about yourself, your company, and, what you've been up to?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. A little bit about me. I'm third generation in my family's business, Berk Enterprises. We are a packaging company, a supplier of food service disposables and custom packaging. So think plastic cutlery, straws, cups, to-go containers. We carry a earth-friendly line as well. And then we also service the outdoor amusement industry. So when you go to a fair, carnival, those lemonade cups, French fry buckets, cotton candy bags. So I'm one of five. I'm the oldest of five. I'm from Warren, Ohio, about an hour from Cleveland. And I've worked for my family's business for 12 years now. So it's basically been my whole life.
Okay. And so is the entire family part of this or just you?
Yeah, good question. So my dad has been involved with the business for 45 years now. We recently kind of transitioned him out slightly. We're a women-owned business as of November, so he's in more of an advisory consultant role, focusing on some other passion projects. My sisters are not in the business at this time. I'm from a very entrepreneurial family, so they're each kind of focusing on their passions. But my brother, he's always talked about joining the family business, and he just recently graduated from Ohio State. I'm encouraging him to get some other work experience. I think it's important for him to, learn from other people before coming to the company, but he plans on coming hopefully in a few years. So it'll be the two of us.
That's awesome. So you and I had shared a little bit that the family business is one of the hardest things. And if I remember, I told you that my dad's company and my brother and I and sister are all sort of office out of the same building. What was the balancing act as you got in to actually, hey, Dad, it's time for you to get out? What
Yeah,
finally was the straw that got you guys to do it?
it's a very funny story, actually. So, I knew when I was 12 years old that I wanted to join the family business. I loved the industry that we're in, seeing our products out in public. It just was so exciting to me. And I knew at a very young age that I wanted to join the family business. And I started part time when I was 15, working in sales. That was my passion. I just loved meeting people and visiting our customers. So, I came back to the company full time in 2021, and really my plan was to do sales basically my entire life. That was my plan. 2 weeks after being back, my dad and my CFO called me into the conference room and were like, "Hey, you're doing great in sales, but we actually want to move you into a leadership position, and we want you to be the director of operations." Now, this was peak COVID supply chain crisis time, 2021. So that was very interesting, overseeing all of our distribution centers, my purchasing and logistics team. Um, so that was crazy. I mean, it was such an honor that they would think that I can, handle that. And I learned so much. I feel very blessed for that time. It allowed me to learn about another side of the business that I wasn't as familiar with. So I did that for a year. And then my dad said, "Okay, I want you to be the CEO." So it wasn't really, me kicking my dad out. It was, he was ready to kind of pass that torch to me, which was such an honor. But definitely, I'm sure you can relate. I was 24 at the time when that happened. I know you were young with your career too at Jimmy John's. So definitely, it was a whirlwind. It was absolutely insane. And it's still insane sometimes. But, I feel lucky to have my dad in my corner. There's certain things that he's still very passionate about. He loves connecting with our customers. He loves working with our factory. So I feel lucky to have him when I need him, but definitely still kind of going through that transition period. Um, yeah,
The worst part about that is I know exactly what you mean when I love them when I need them.
yeah.
but yet, oh, it can get a little annoying at
Exactly.
times.
I think, like, when I came back to the family business, I really tried to kind of clean up some processes, put some more structure in place. Um, and my dad, you gotta love him. You're right, you gotta love him. But sometimes he just doesn't follow the processes. He'll jump straight to, a buyer. I'm like, let's try to loop in the manager. But again, I feel fortunate to have him. He didn't get a lot of time with his dad before his father passed. When he joined the family business. So he's the only one I'll make that exception for. Everyone else needs to follow the rules. But
Yeah,
it's fun.
my brother and my dad go like this. It's the
Yes.
best. And I don't do anything with the family company. I have my own. I don't obviously have time. Could you imagine
Yeah.
me doing something else?
Can't imagine.
Um, but watching them and the fight that goes on between them and, oh, my way or your way, the new way, the old way, those type of arguments are continual. And so when you go to the kitchen table and you guys are at a birthday party or your wedding last year, how hard is it to not have some of that bubble up and get away from that when you're in a family
Yeah.
business?
I feel very lucky in that regard. I've always been very close with my family. We're still incredibly close. I see them all the time now that I moved closer to my hometown. So, I don't actually know if we've ever got into a fight per se about anything at the office. There's
It's a
definitely times
daughter
where
thing. I swear, it's
no, but
daughters.
he'll tell me like, hey, like I would have maybe handled this way, or hey, like you need to watch this, or I would be mindful of that. But really, he lets me do my thing, which for the most part, I would say, which I feel very grateful for. Um, and like I said, I welcome his thoughts and input because I'm still learning. I've only been in the role now 2.5 years. So I appreciate that for the most part, he lets me do my thing. And my mom kind of keeps him in line too, of course.
You sound just like my sister,
Really?
who never gets in an argument with my dad, never has any pushback, always good.
We try to
Oh,
keep the peace. Yeah.
it's amazing. But
Yeah.
yet I'm going to feel for your brother one day.
You know what? No, my brother and I are so close. He's also so close with my dad. Like I think my dad is counting down the days. I think he wants them here. He wants him in the business tomorrow, and I'm like, just let him learn from some other people. He's working in Columbus right now and loving it, so it's all good.
Okay. So the other thing you and I share that most people don't is you're thrown into a position of leadership at an extremely young age. How hard was it to get the team and the rest of the company or even customers to buy into the fact that you belong in the seat that you belong in?
Good question. When I was younger, I was going to the company all the time with my mom to visit dad, right? Whether we were going to sit in a meeting just for fun or walk around the cubicles and just collect candy and snacks from all the employees. But I have people on my team that have been with me 10, 15, 20, the oldest 43 years. So a lot of them have known me my whole life. Like they saw my homecoming pictures, they saw my baby pictures. Like I've really grown up with a lot of my staff. So, when I came back full time, I think everyone knew this was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And I felt really lucky to have the support of so many people on my team. Not only my leadership team, but the entire company. I have about 100 employees, and the support was overwhelming in a great way. And I think for the customers too, I think people were excited about it. There was definitely some um, not hesitancy, but I think in the beginning, sometimes people would come in and I'd introduce myself and like, okay, like, where's your dad? Kind of navigating that in the beginning. But overall, the company's been great. The industry's been super supportive. I think we've seen a shift in the past few years, seeing some other women in leadership roles at different restaurant chains and things like that. So it's been really exciting. And again, I just feel very grateful for the support, mostly from my team.
That was such a politically correct answer.
It's the truth. It really is. I mean, there were definitely, times in the beginning. I don't know if there was as much of a struggle, within the company and our industry, but maybe more of a struggle with myself, and just navigating that position
Mm-hmm.
in your early 20s, especially when, I have friends, we're living in Cleveland and they're going out every weekend, and it's just hard to really relate. I didn't really have anyone my age doing what I was doing, so I think kind of
It's a different
navigate.
life.
It is. Yeah, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. It's the biggest honor of my life, but definitely in the beginning it was a struggle, a lot of doubt, like I don't know if I can do this. Like I know my dad wouldn't put me in this role if he didn't believe I could, but definitely early on I was like, oh, this is so scary. It's a lot of responsibility.
I'm Gregg Majewski, and I've been a multi-unit operator for 26 years. I know how great it feels owning the right franchise brand, but choosing the right franchisor feels even better. At Craveworthy Brands, our hospitality-driven culture sets us apart because we're invested in your success at every single stage of your journey. We're operators alongside you, paving the way forward to give you a head start on greatness. Start your franchise journey at craveworthybrands.com. When you were obviously getting to know the rest of the industry and getting out there, were people receptive to you? I mean, I know you and I hit it off, so I'm going to assume yes, because as most people have said, I'm sort of mean the first time you meet me.
No, I don't think you're
Uh,
mean.
but I mean, in the generic way, did people want to help you? So were people there to help give you the advice and the support that you needed to get through it? Because you can't just rely on dad and the company,
Definitely.
and I couldn't rely on Jimmy and his friends to sort of teach me how to do things. Who was there for you?
Yeah, I think that, the industry, everyone's been very welcoming and supportive. And I think for me, I genuinely care so much about our industry and what we do and the products that we can offer these different restaurant chains. So I genuinely enjoy meeting new people, forming these relationships. And I think people kind of feel that. So they're willing to, give me a few minutes of their time to talk to me or to make a connection for me. So I think, early on, there were some people. I'm involved in a few different industry groups, but through IFMA, Women in Restaurant Leadership, some people at QSR, WFF, there's been a lot of people that, maybe see their younger self in me. And I think that genuinely, people enjoy helping other people. I think especially women, like we like to support other women. So I have really enjoyed getting to know people in the space over the past few years. And yeah, it's been great. I love it.
So you say women love to support women, and now I'm going to go the other side, seeing it on the other angle. I have, as you know, most of my team is women. Most of my leadership team and the people that are running things are women in my company, have always been that way. I'll be the first one to say it. More organized, more disciplined, and follow the system 100% better than
That's right.
men and
That's
ops.
right.
Um, you know, but I've also seen women are also the most aggressive against each other when someone new comes into an organization. It's not always open arms. It's not always, oh, this person's going to take my moment, because in the past, women haven't had that opportunity. You haven't been able to be a CEO. And as wrong as that is, it's just the mentality of
Mm-hmm.
what took place. So they're all competing for what they think is that next role, but yet, and I say it all the time, there's only one CEO in a company.
Yeah.
Out of the 500 restaurant companies, there's only 500 of them.
Right.
The number of spots that come open every year are maybe 30, in
Mm-hmm.
certain roles. So the job is not always there, but they get so pinned up against the competition against each other instead of just letting it be where you're supposed to be. The other thing that I've seen a lot of lately is that you think you're not getting the opportunity because, and they're so focused on the next career step, they're missing the career step, the parallel step to get to where they want to go. So let's say you're a COO for a good sized company, but you can go and be a president for a very small company. Taking that step down is what normally has to happen. You don't
Mm-hmm.
get to go from COO of a big company usually to president of the first time. You go down and then up. I don't think everyone understands that. And men are as bad in this. They think, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm COO of a 50 unit chain. I need to go be CEO now of a 75 unit chain.
Right.
How do you step and tell people to take the career progression or bet on yourself and go down and to go back up?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a little difficult for me to say just because I had such an interesting career path, but I feel like,
But that's exactly why you should say,
well, I was
because
just gonna say, like, I don't think that, I personally don't believe that, like, being CEO means like you're the best. Like, there are so many other positions within an organization, whether you're a supervisor, a
are
manager,
you trying to say there's a lot of bad restaurant CEOs out there? Because I'll
not
agree
at
with you.
all. Not at
Oh,
all. I'm
I'll
just
say
saying.
it. I think there's a lot of them that suck.
No. But when you're saying, people fighting for the CEO role, I think there's so many other roles within organizations where you can still make just as much of an impact, if not more. Um, Focusing on a certain area of the company or a certain position. So I don't think that, I get what you're saying, I guess. Like, everyone maybe strives to be in this position, but I think, um, I don't know, whether you're a CEO for a smaller chain with less locations or a different position but a bigger chain, like, I think it's all about what you do in your role. And I think that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, it's
I put her on
fun
the
being a
spot.
CEO, but there's other options too that I think you can make just as much of an impact. So I don't think you need to always strive for the top. I think you can contribute in other ways in other positions.
Okay. On the paper, how in the world are you so passionate about paper? Like
Listen,
I
it's more than just paper. We are providing the products that bring people together to create memories. And as goofy as you might think that is, it's true. Like, you can't go to a fair and get a lemonade without using one of our cups. You can't go to Chipotle and eat your bowl or eat your food without our bowl. Like, we honestly believe that we provide the tools, the packaging that bring people together. I mean, so often when people are eating, they're normally with other people. They're creating memories, and there's special occasions. So I get so excited about it, and especially seeing our products out in public. Especially at the outdoor amusement industry, those lemonade cups, French fry buckets, cotton candy bags, seeing people so happy at the fair. I mean, people are never sad at a fair. I've never seen anyone, without a smile on their face. So seeing people, maybe you,
you
Greg,
should
I
have
don't know how much
you
you like
should
fairs.
you should have been with me in 7th grade when I went on a date at a fair and the girl threw up. I was not happy. That was
Oh my
horrible.
gosh. Yeah, I should have been there. So maybe most people are besides you in 7th grade. But it's true though. Like, people, seeing our products out in public, and they just play an important role, I think, in society. So it does make me very excited.
Okay. So what is one product that you say all restaurants need to focus on? So packaging is a big deal, but
Yeah.
what's the one piece, if you can only have one incredible piece in your arsenal,
Oh
what would
my
it be?
God. It depends on the chain. If they're just drinks, if they're food, if it's dessert, I don't know. Um, I guess I would say the most important thing is whatever your I'll say whatever your main thing is. So for Chipotle, it's that bowl, like that main vessel, like that they need to do that
Which is
very well.
completely not branded,
Correct. But people
you
know that's a
know,
Chipotle bowl
because
when they see it.
yes, because Chipotle is Chipotle, and
Yeah.
we all have to bow down to the greatest.
They're the best.
Um, but the rest, we would go and slap a logo on it some way because you would want that or all that. They were able to build that without. So if you were starting a brand and you had to build your brand, is logo wear important, or is it the vessel that's more important?
I mean, you have to have a package that can withstand your food, right? You don't want a package to fall apart. If you're going to deliver it, which we all know that's becoming more important too, it has to be able to keep your fries crispy, keep your food warm. But I think definitely whenever you can, you should absolutely incorporate your logo, your brand colors. And Chipotle does that with their aluminum topper. But absolutely, I
Recently,
think, huh? What was that?
recently,
Oh,
in like the last 5 years.
yeah. Yeah, but I think that, sometimes operators may see packaging as an expense, whereas I look at it as like a marketing opportunity. Like, how are you enhancing the brand experience? How are you getting your name out there to other people? And I think absolutely it's a great way to brand yourself. I would recommend any chain. And I think too, over time, we've seen um, more people start to customize their products specifically to them. I don't know why you wouldn't, to be honest. I think that the cheapest option oftentimes is like a styrofoam clamshell. And I guess it just depends what's most important to you. If you're trying to reduce your cost, and you might use that for your packaging. But really, I would recommend any chain, anyone with a restaurant, to use that as an opportunity to brand yourself, to brand your chain, and to spread the message about what you do, and why people should buy from you.
Okay.
Okay.
But yet you still haven't given me the piece.
About what the most important thing
yeah, just the generic one piece.
It depends.
Cup,
I mean, I
bag,
can't say a
or
fork
cup.
if it's an ice cream
Well,
chain.
well, yeah, but is it the cup, the bag, or which one? If I only had a little bit of money to spend, which one should I logo?
It depends on what like I said, I think if you're gonna put your brand on something, make it like the main
You're
vessel.
not
So for
helping.
example,
You're
listen,
not
if you're an
helping me
ice
because we
cream,
had this argument downstairs like 10 minutes ago. So I'm trying to win my argument. I want you to say
like,
an answer.
okay, like Dairy Queen, if they were gonna customize one thing, I would make it the
Yep.
cup,
Okay.
because I'm a Gen Z, and just on the very end of the Gen Z. But we like to take pictures of our food. I don't know if you like to do that, Greg.
No.
Okay. Well, most of us do. So
I have
if
friends
that's
that do, and I make fun of them all the time.
okay, all right. Well, if I were you, yeah, when we take pictures of our products, like, you might as well slap your logo on that. So if you're Dairy Queen, your logo should be on that cup. If you're I don't know, Swig, like, the branding should be on the cup, because that's what I'm going to
Cup.
take a picture of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do. So good job. Good job to them.
Okay. What's next for you and your company? Where do you want to be?
We're taking it to the moon, Greg. Fasten your seatbelt. We are
Well,
growing.
the moon's going to be, maybe the 54th state
Yeah,
at the rate
yeah,
we're going.
yeah. No, we'll see. We're really excited. I think in the past, my dad's style has kind of been like, we're going to service everyone and do everything, and we never want to say no to anyone. And we have great customer service. And although that is all true, I'm really trying to focus more on what we're best at, what we do well, focusing on chains with a certain amount of locations, in certain parts of the area. But we're really trying to grow and capture as much market share as we can over the next few years. So get ready, Greg. Starting with you. By
We've
getting
been
all your
trying.
packaging.
I got to introduce you to my new purchasing person, by the way. So
Oh
the
yes,
last set of
please do.
the last set of questions come down to,
Sorry.
you guys have an eco-friendly line. What is that, a avenue that restaurants are is going to continue to grow, or are we going to go back to plastic straws and all that with the new administration?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's an area that's definitely going to continue becoming more popular. There's been a greater focus on sustainability. Certain states are already actually starting to ban plastic. So I think that movement is here. I think in a few years, plastic disposables will probably be banned, which I don't think is a bad thing. I'm all for protecting the environment when we can. So I think it's a trend that's going to stay. I think the most important thing, though, is just people knowing how to dispose of them, if you will. If you're going to have biodegradable or compostable packaging and it's going to just end up in a dumpster, that could be helping slightly. But to really get the full effect, being able to take it to a compost facility and disposing of it the right way, I think will give brands the biggest impact, the biggest return on their investment. Because normally, sustainable packaging is a little bit more expensive. But I guess you feel better in your heart, right, Gregg, that you're doing the right thing for the environment.
I like the bottom line, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it depends on brand that it fits. So I think disposable packaging and fits certain brands better than others. I think everyone should do something that is recycled or use or any of that. But I think there's certain brands that it fits 100%, and then there's other ones that you're trying too hard when you use it. Definitely. And so again, packaging to me should fit that brand DNA as much as anything. So don't overspend when you don't need. Some food items that have to go in the ugly white clam because there's nothing else that will fit it, but it's one menu item, and so you got to have it, you know. But the overall packaging should always fit where you want to go, and don't overspend when you don't need to overspend, and don't try to be something that you're not. If you're a fast food burger concept and your burger price is $4.99 or less, paper is great for that pricing because you won't make money otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like the packaging should, feel like it's a part of the brand. Like when I think about the Chipotles, the Cavas, the Sweet Greens, the Bibi Bops, like those kind of lifestyle healthy bowls. Like I think that big ass bowl that they're using, that sugarcane pulp, it fits their brand, right? If Cava started serving their food in a styrofoam clamshell, people might be like, what's going on?
They can do that though. Please, Cava, let's start that. You go to clam, please. I'll take that market share.
No. But you get what I'm saying. I think you have a good point. Like the packaging needs to fit the brand.
Okay. 3 rapid fire questions to sort of end our call today.
Okay.
Who, besides your dad, who's your biggest mentor in life?
Gregg Majewski. No.
Okay.
I was gonna say my dad. Besides my dad.
I know, that's why I cut it off, because I knew where you were going.
I'll say my mom then.
All right. Movie on TV that every time you see it, you have to watch.
Ooh. Movie or TV show?
No, movie.
Movie.
Yep.
Well, my 3 favorite movies are The Notebook, Crazy Rich Asians, and We're the Millers. So any of those.
First one doesn't surprise me. Last 2 sort of do.
There you go.
A little different.
Yep.
All right. Last question. Easiest one. If you had one other company that you could work for and be in the same role, what would it be?
Chick-fil-A.
Okay. That one's badass.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Where can people go to your website, find you, start being a customer, and build your company?
Please come my way. So Berk Enterprises. My LinkedIn is Reilly Berk, ReillyBerk. And then our website is just berkbrands.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can reach out to Gregg and he can connect you to me. But I would love to be able to help you with all of your packaging and branding needs. So thanks so much for having me, Gregg. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Everybody, that was another episode of Room for Seconds. You know where to follow us on everything and anything possible. I post any episode. We look forward to our next episode next time. Reilly,
thanks so much.
All right, let's stop. Hey viewers, thanks again for supporting Room for Seconds. If you found this episode inspiring, interesting, or any bit informative, please hit that little subscribe button down at the bottom so you never miss an episode. In my 26 years in this amazing industry, I've been blessed with incredible mentorship. This show is my way of giving back. Follow me on LinkedIn, search Gregg Majewski, on Twitter, @Gregg_Majewski. If you still have room for more, visit our website at media.craveworthybrands.com. You'll find more videos, shows, notes, blogs, resources, and an easy way to get in touch with the Craveworthy Brands team. I'm your host, Gregg Majewski. Thanks again for tuning in to Room for Seconds.